we are taking a look at the Samsung Pixon 12. So this is the Samsung Pixon 12. This is not a, strictly speaking, it's not a smartphone because it's not running on Windows Mobile, Gear60, Android, whatever, right? This is running on TouchWiz UI 2.0.
Yep.
This is basically Samsung's proprietary software, right, for their phone. And basically the last time you actually saw this was when we showed off the Samsung Jet, right, which is their smartphone wannabes, non-smartphone feature phone.
Yep.
Alright, you can check that out on Gear65, past episode Gear65. So before we continue to talk about the Samsung Pixon 12 and why it's called the Pixon 12, let's talk about the design. Now this is the second iteration of the Pixon,
yes.
Right? I believe episode 1 or episode 2 of Gear65 we actually showed off the original Pixon.
The
and
Pixon
this is
8, actually.
So this is the updated version. And so design is pretty much very similar from the past. So you have the screen here, and then you have hang up call button, you have the menu button. Last time it was round, now it's a bit more squarish. Right, so on the top, let's take a look at the back. The back is, of course, the reason why it's called Samsung 12 is because this actually has a 12 megapixel camera,
yep.
Which is really, really cool.
Which actually is a 28mm wide angle lens.
It's a wide angle lens too,
yep.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so you can see here smart autofocus tracking. We will show off that feature later. It's really, really cool. Xenon flash. So it's a Xenon flash as you can see
yep.
here. Alright, GPS. There's an OLED. Like all Samsung phones, most of the Samsung phones that we showed off so far by Samsung have been using OLED. Basically, you have high contrast displays, very bright displays as well. Built-in Wi-Fi. Now, this phone is using a new version of TouchWiz UI, right? Yep. Which now has Wi-Fi, right? The original Pixel did not have Wi-Fi. This is a rubber, well, almost rubber, like plastic. It's a grip. It's plastic grip.
Not exactly rubber. It's a form like leather.
Plasticky thing. Yeah. So there's a grip as well as the loudspeaker is here as well.
Mm-hmm.
The camera shutter button is here.
And this is the
shortcut button, which regardless whether the phone is locked or not, you push this button, the camera will on, as you can tell. Which we found it to be, or at least Nicole found it to be a little annoying.
It's not exactly annoying, but rather you were accidental trigger.
Accidental trigger. So yeah, that's the thing about it. So here, camera button, shutter button. You have the zoom buttons. The shutter button is the 2-level kind. So press lightly to focus and then push it all the way to take picture. Okay. Nothing much at the bottom. The microphone is here. Lanyard hole is here. This is the battery release catch.
Yep.
Right. Micro USB port.
Yep.
Okay, for charging as well as data.
As well as for the earphones as well.
Oh, earphones has come out as well.
There's no 3.5mm jack.
Yeah, no 3.5mm jack. So the headsets come out from here as well. Okay. Alright, and then over here we have the micro SD card slot, which is good, right?
Very accessible.
Yeah, it's not outside. You don't have to open the battery cover to reach this, and the lock button, of course, to actually unlock the display as well as to lock it. And as you can see, the screen is a fingerprint magnet, as all smartphones are today, and non-smartphones, feature phones, whatever, and a front-facing camera.
Yep.
Alright, so that is it. Let's talk about the TouchWiz UI on this particular phone. Just a little reminder, right? So that the TouchWiz UI is basically this proprietary software by Samsung that basically the front home screen allows you to have widgets and stuff. So just focus it. So for example, you can pull out the Bluetooth widget, basically a shortcut to Bluetooth. You can your profile, your silent mode button, profile button, and whatever. And you can have up to like 3 different panes. To do this. If you want to actually find out more, you can watch the Samsung Jet episode. We talked about it in detail.
Yep.
Basically, the software is very much similar to the Samsung Jet one. You can go to the menu, and then you basically have 3 panes of all the features of the phone itself. One thing they did change though is that even though this is not a smartphone, in a sense you can't install applications, but different people, you have different kind of preferences, what kind of applications you will use very often.
Yes.
Yeah. So what they did is that they allow you to, with this version, you can actually just drag and rearrange it. And the cool thing is if you do this, you can actually
drag across pages as
all
well.
Every single page as well. So that is a pretty neat thing. Yeah. And the keyboard and all that is still the same keyboard. So if you actually take a look and create a message, for example, if I tap this and then you have this keyboard, basically the keyboard itself is almost as if it's its own application, yep. Right? And if you rotate this way, you have a full QWERTY keyboard, which when you actually press, you see that the button actually appears on the side. Oops. Yeah. So the keyboard takes a little bit while to get used to, as all keyboards do. It's not my favorite keyboard personally, but you know, it works. Yeah, and as you can see right now, it's a crazy fingerprint magnet. Yeah. So
but then again, to solve the fingerprint problem, just go and get a protective screen that allows you to reduce smudges against it.
yeah, so the whole thing is glossy, so you can see it's like, yeah, you do need to get something like that, or you know, a pouch or something.
Yep.
So yeah, that's so far about the software itself. Another thing, of course, is the ability for it to multitask. If you press and hold, you know, you can actually go to different applications. So it's able to so-called multitask between the different tasks. And then, of course, the highlight of this device is definitely the camera. So, like we said, you know, let me just demonstrate. Let me see, the phone is locked.
Wait, to show that it's locked, right? You just try pressing anything. This will tell you that it's locked. Okay.
Yep. So
it's locked.
yeah, so everything's locked.
I'll just press on the button here.
And then you just go straight
bypass the lock.
Yeah, so that is kind of strange actually. The disadvantage is that if you do this, then you know, you might accidentally unlock it and stuff, take random pictures. So yeah, that's one thing that we wanted to point out. So it's a 12 megapixel camera, and it's a pretty good camera. There's a lot of auto functions. Samsung has always been pretty good at with regards to the camera software,
yes,
right?
That's right.
Yeah, and one cool feature we showed you just now, right? That we wrote here. They call it the autofocus tracking.
Yep.
So let me just demonstrate it, right? So they have this Burger King cup. Yes, we're recording this at Burger King. We're not sponsored by Burger King, so you know. Yeah. Press and hold anywhere, and then so now it's tracking the logo, right? And if you see, right, actually, if I move the cup around, you notice that the
phone.
Yeah, or even the phone, right? The tracking actually is still tracking the cup itself. So that is actually a pretty cool thing, and you know, it's a very cool feature, because once you focus on subject, you can move around, or the subject can move as well, and you'll still stick with it. Yeah,
that's right.
So that is very cool. So the camera itself is obviously pretty impressive.
Yes.
I mean, like, you know, take a nice, very good picture of the Burger King car. White balancing, some manual features and stuff like that.
There are many variety of functions to play around the camera.
Yeah.
And in short, the Pixon 12 can actually double up as your digital camera on its own.
Yeah. So you know, performance-wise, this versus the Samsung Jet, Samsung Jet performed a little better, right? You were telling me.
For me, I generally found that the widgets. In the widget itself, it's not very sensitive.
Yep.
In terms of like, I had difficulty dragging the widget back to the sidebar after that. You'll always run to the next page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess that's
it's just a little bit of thing that you got to get used to. Otherwise, it's actually quite okay. And don't forget, the Samsung Jet is a high-end device in terms of it's an 800 MHz processor. We don't know whether this one has the same processor, so it's not really exactly fair to compare performance. But you know, in terms of performance, I mean, it's usable. You can do your things, you know. Yeah, it's not going to affect you so much that
But
you're
I
gonna.
also have to add on that the connectivity from the phone, whether to Bluetooth or to Wi-Fi, is very smooth. It's very easy to set up your connections and get connected.
Yeah, so that is one cool thing. Yeah, we like it that the Pixon finally has Wi-Fi. By the way, it does come with a pouch, which is this one right here. It's a very strange pouch because when you put it in, right, for several reasons. One, this part here is covered, so we don't know why they left the camera thing. Unless, of course, you know, remember that feature that we told you about where you can turn on the camera without having to. Maybe it's for those kind of people who are looking for spy cameras. I don't know. You know, like just take a picture, right, and then just snap a photo. It's kind of strange, actually. Yeah, we don't know why, but that's the thing.
In general, I like the casing.
Except
just that for this part, because as mentioned earlier, it does not have the 3.5mm jack.
Yeah, so
you'll probably be using the USB on its own.
Yeah, so like it's very strange because you can't actually leave it open. Yeah. So that's a strange thing about this. So you might definitely want to get a new case if you decide to get this phone.
Yep.
So that was the Samsung Pixon 12 by Samsung.
Yep.
Yeah, and you know, if you have any questions, you can email us gear65@tech65.org. You know, you can also check out all our past episodes. Check out the Samsung Jet episode where we showed off more features regarding the TouchWiz UI 2.0. And of course, 65 Bits and Digress class at www.tech65.org. That's our website.
Yep.
Right. So you know, until next time, I'm Daniel.
I'm Nicole.
Bye.
Bye.